So the question on my mind is, what sort of England team will the new head coach Steve Borthwick pick? And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. So with Steve Borthwick now firmly in place as the new England head coach, my thoughts turn to what sort of team will he pick. Now of course this is very much speculative, we don't know what he's going to do. But hey, that's fun, that's what we do on this channel, we like a bit of speculation and fun. So let's get into it and let me know what sort of players you think he would pick. We're just going to pick a starting 15 for the sake of it. Obviously he's going to have to pick a wider squad, matchday 23, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to use 3 assumptions just to give me something to work with here to pick a team. Now assumption 1 is Steve Borthwick has a really good grasp on the talent in the Premiership, considering he coaches it week in, week out, and also I think he has a bit more trust in that talent than Eddie Jones, so that's number 1. Number 2, I think Steve Borthwick is definitely going to prioritise on solid basics. We saw some shakiness in the autumn internationals. I think he's going to go for the physicality, the scrum, the maul, the line out, all the basic stuff, and all the stuff he excels in. I'm sure he's going to get stuck into that personally as well. And number 3, if it comes to a tight call, he may well go with what he knows and trust his Leicester players, his Leicester youngsters. I'm not saying that's a bad call because there's some really good young players in there, but often you want to go for what you know, especially early, rather than take a few more risks. And also it's human nature to go with what you know. Now, just before I get into the team, this is not quite the team I would have picked. I've done a video on what I probably would have done, ideally with Scott Robertson as a head coach towards the World Cup, and then maybe someone like Borthwick afterwards. So have a look at that for, kind of what I think should go. I'm just going to go with maybe what Borthwick will go with, just on my intuition. Now, at loosehead, I can't see Borthwick going past Ellis Genge on pure performance for one thing. Plus he's worked with him at Leicester, promoted him to captain there, and I think he's going to do the same for England. That's my bold call. I don't know if it's going to happen, but in this team I'm saying Ellis Genge is the captain. At number 2, well, I'd picked McGuigan as my starting hooker, someone who's really reliable, good set piece, and I think he'll do something similar, but he knows and worked with Jamie George a lot before. George is playing well. He's probably, not at the peak of his athletic powers, but still his line-out is unbelievable, and if he wants to target the line-out of something to be really strong at, which I'm sure he will, Jamie George is a good pick. Someone who's very reliable, got another year in him for sure, could go to the World Cup, so he is my hooker. At tight head, it's an area he's going to have a look at. Maybe we'll see some new players in the squad, but I think he'll still go for Sinclair. I still think he is the tight head with the best pedigree, with the highest ceiling, if you like, but certainly it's a tricky one. He knows Hayes from Leicester, so maybe he'll work with him as well, but we will see, but I'm going Sinclair. In the second row, Steve Borthwick's area of specialism, of course. I think he really rates Itoje's talent, and when Itoje is on song, he's an outstanding player. I know he splits opinion as well, but I think him as number 4 is a good call. At 5, that big guy behind the tight head, well, I think it could be Ollie Chesham of Leicester. He's a youngster, but he's really filling out quickly physically, really skillful, great in the line out, someone who maybe can call the line out, someone very clever as well. I think he may well go for Ollie Chesham straight in there. I think he might just be ready in time for the World Cup, but it's a close one. I think Ribbons is playing really, really well. I'm not sure Hill has quite got it. Let's see what Steve Borthwick thinks of that, but Itoje Chesham, I could see that being a good Steve Borthwick second row. Now into the vital back row, and at 6, I think he'll go back to Courtney Lawes. He's returned to fitness, and it gives Borthwick access to one of England's best forwards for the last couple of years, an outstanding line-out operator as well, which gives him lots of opportunity to play with the line-out, increasing his carrying ability as well. He's got another year in him, and hopefully other specialists like Ted Hill will be in the squad as well. Maybe a youngster George Martin from Leicester he might like, I don't know. But yeah, I think Courtney Lawes is where he's going to go there. At 7, he's got lots and lots of options, lots of great options depending what he prioritises. Ben Earl is still on fire for Saracens, particularly in attack, works a bit wider out, a bit better than the others. Underhill might be back for his defence, Jack Willis for his turnovers, but I think Tom Curry can give him a bit of everything, very strong in defence, a bit more in attack than some of the others, maybe not Ben Earl, and also a fairly useful line-out jumper as well. So I think at 7, Tom Curry, consistent performer, is the open side. Now at number 8, I hope he goes Alex Dombrandt. He is the talent in the Premiership, I believe, and even if you have a basic attacking shape, he's so clever with his running lines, he can turn a basic shape into a really good attacking platform with his offloads, etc. Plus he's a big guy, you could even use him in the line-out if you wanted. So that's my pack for Steve Borthwick's team. Now into the half-backs, and I think he'll stay with Jack van Poortvliet, as Eddie Jones would be grooming him as Young's successor. but Borthwick trusts Youngs. Obviously, he works with Youngs at Leicester. He plays him a lot. Could Youngs stick around in the squad or even still start? I think he needs to move to the youngsters, but that's going to be interesting. But I'm saying Van Borthwick for now. And at fly half, obviously an incredibly influential role. I'm not sure he'll go with Marcus Smith. I think Smith is a great player and can be a great player given a particular structure, maybe like a Harlequin structure, but I'm not sure that's where Borthwick's going to go. I think he'll have him in the squad. I could also see him having young Atkinson in the squad, who's just moved from Wasps to Leicester. He's someone who I've said in the past should be the third choice fly half. So I could see him maybe moving up actually in the pecking order. But Owen Farrell, I think, is where he's going to go. He's playing very well for Saracens, have been for ages. At 10, very reliable, great goal kicking. If they're going to go for a slightly more basic game plan to start with, and the leadership he brings, the experience, yeah, I think Owen Farrell's his 10. Now into the centres, and particularly inside centre, I do think he needs to move away from Tuolangi now, look at new options, and the option he knows best is Dan Kelly, who plays at Leicester, has just come back from injury. He's got a great all-round game, really good defence. We saw him at the weekend with an amazing hold-up tackle, and he's got a good passing range as well. Not massive, but as a great all-rounder who ticks all the boxes, I think he could be a guy to go in at 12 for Borthwick. And at 13, well, there's loads of options. I've gone through them in the past. I won't again. But someone who's playing really, really well and has great experience is Henry Slade. Athletically, he looks as good as he's ever looked. Plus, he gives you that passing, that kicking as well. His footwork looks good. So I think that little bit of experience as well, alongside the inexperience of Kelly, could be a good combo. So Kelly and Slade in the centres. Now into that back three. Now it's a really interesting call here. I think Anthony Watson may have timed his charge just right, coming back from injury and playing for Leicester. He's a classy operator, good feet, good under the high ball, a bit of everything there. So I think he might get in there on the wing. And there's a lot of other good wing options. We've got Ollie Hassel-Collins, who's been playing so well for London Irish for ages. Joe Thokanasiga's been consistently performing for Bath. You know, his injuries look behind him. He's a good option as that massive ball carrier, maybe not the quickest on the turn or acceleration, but certainly a weapon. But on the other wing, I think he needs that extreme pace of either Arundel or Adam Radwan. So one of those two, Arundel if he's fit. I'm not sure May's quite there, to be honest. So I think I'd go Arundel or Radwan on the wing. And at 15, I'm pretty sure he'll stay with Freddie Stewart. He's been playing for Leicester for so long, he'll trust him. Plus, he's got those England caps under his belt, and you know he's so good under the high ball and a big guy to bring into the line. Anyway, guys, that's the team that maybe he'll go for. It's good fun to have a little speculate on this. Let me know what team you guys would go for Borthwick, and I'll catch you guys next time.